Once again, it is indeed your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. We're going to be talking about President Biden and his choice, apparent decision to not participate in what has normally become a tradition, Super Bowl interviews. A lot of times the presidential candidate, Barack Obama, participated in it, and certainly President Trump as well. But President Biden has stated ahead of time he will not be involved in a presidential interview during the Super Bowl. But the reason we're bringing it up is obviously the Super Bowl by far has the largest audience of anything, any event, any televised broadcast on earth, literally on earth. There is no bigger broadcast audience than the Super Bowl. Nothing on television anywhere in the world attracts the audience that is the size of the Super Bowl. So why would a presidential candidate in the middle of a presidential campaign avoid being able to speak to such a large audience? The Super Bowl is predicted to get at least 200 million viewers. This is a global event. So why would President Biden skip that interview? What does that say about President Biden? We know in the polls, Biden is not doing very favorably against Trump, assuming Trump will be his adversary. It certainly looks like a Trump versus Biden rematch. But why would he skip it? Why would he turn down the privilege of being able to speak to such a large audience simultaneously? It's a hell of a lot of Americans that are not interested in politics. So you got them all in one place because most Americans are interested in the Super Bowl. Do you think Biden should indeed take that Super Bowl interview to get his message out? Now, we've said here, and had a host of callers also agree, one of the biggest detriments to the Biden administration in terms of highlighting their accomplishments is poor messaging, lack of getting out the message. An audience of 200 million people. You want folks to understand how the economy works? If you're going to suggest that the Biden economy is doing so well, you want to talk about the infrastructure bill, the CHIPS Act, why not take this time in front of an audience of 200 million? Turning this down, what does it say about Biden to you? Do you think he should have took the interview, or do you think he's making the right decision in regards to turning it down? As always, the program shall forever remain MAGA friendly. You know what we say, we don't block, ban, or censor anyone. Nevertheless, liberals are always welcome on the program. So looking in the comments, I definitely agree. This is not the time to be humble. Exactly. I believe that's a Kendrick Lamar reference, but certainly this is not the time for Biden to be humble. A lot of Biden supporters would say. So why the hell would he turn this interview down? How does this work for President Biden's re-election hopes? An audience of 200 million people. Now, as a sidebar, President Trump has offered to do it. Former President Trump, well, shit, if he won't accept the privilege of speaking in front of 200 million people simultaneously, give it to me. So I guess I'd follow up by asking, how many of you folks think that the network should allow President Trump to fill in the gap? Regardless of how you feel about Trump, he is indeed a ratings bonanza. Doesn't matter if you're on the left or the right, everyone is talking about Trump. If there is one thing about Trump that cannot be denied, is he is a very interesting character. Hate or love him. Looking in the comments, what you talking about? What you talking about? And I don't quite get that. Haven't we agreed that President Biden has lost his mind? I don't know if we've agreed that President Biden has lost his mind, because there's a host of folks saying the same about Trump. Appreciate the comment, Geraldine. Going straight to the box. Should the president take this interview? An audience of 200 million folks. Mr. Greenland. Good afternoon. Welcome to the program. Trump should be a comedian, not a president. I think you got him confused with Zelensky. Greenland, good afternoon.
Hi. You made me laugh when you said 200 million American watch American football, and you said number one.
No. I said that the Super Bowl broadcast will attract the largest viewing audience of any program in the world. Are you have a correction for me?
Yes, FIFA football. That's soccer for you.
Okay.
We had 5 billion worldwide watching.
Really? Wow. Okay. All right. If that is the case, I've never. So you're saying that the audience that watches a FIFA soccer game, which is called football, you're saying that audience is larger than the Super Bowl?
Oh, much bigger. It's 5 billion.
My comment section seems to disagree with you. I have not heard that. I've not heard of that. And I see folks. I don't see hardly anybody in the comments that agree with you, but I could be wrong. I'd have to look that up. However, let's just accept the fact, even if FIFA has a much greater audience, the audience for the U.S. Super Bowl is significant. Do you think a president, a head of state, running for re-election should actually do an interview during that time where more people are likely to see it?
If he wants to, yes. If he wants to, if he has time.
It's a 3-minute interview, Greenland.
If he wants to, then that's all right.
What does it say? What do you think it says if a candidate chooses not to take that time?
I think it's his own choice. I think he waits for the, how do you call it, when you debate. For the debate, I think he was waiting for that.
So you think you expect this? Wait. You think that Biden is waiting for the opportunity to debate Trump?
I don't think Trump will be.
Oh, so what you're suggesting is Biden will be ready to debate Trump, but Trump is not going to accept the invitation.
No, I think Trump might not be allowed to be on the ballot.
Yeah, I don't think that's likely to happen. But you just mentioned Biden is waiting for the debate. So what did you mean?
I think he's ready. I think he's preparing for the debate. I think
debate with who? Debate with who?
With the next with the opponent. The next opponent.
Okay, but you don't think Trump will be his opponent?
I hope not.
Now, you are in Greenland, right?
Yeah.
Why would a person in Greenland not want Trump to be the president?
He was the worst president of America in the history, in my mind, in my opinion. It was the worst for the whole world.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay, I need you to elaborate. What? Now you're obviously in Greenland. So what would lead someone in Greenland like yourself to suggest that Trump was the worst president of the United States in the world? What did he do that was so bad?
He made the whole world more unsafe.
Elaborate. How? How did he do that?
Excuse me. I'm gonna get inside.
Okay. I would like to know, when you look at the fact that the Ukrainian-Russian conflict was not taking place, we didn't have the Israel-Hamas conflict anywhere near this level, but yet you're suggesting that the world is safer under Biden than Trump? Explain.
Yeah, that's the effect of the Trump, in my mind, because he made sure that everybody could doubt America. When America is 60-90% of NATO.
But we have less military conflicts under Trump than Biden. That doesn't seem to resonate with what you're saying. If Trump was so dangerous, why was the world a calmer place, at least from our viewpoint, than it is now?
It's not only about the American president. Other people also can decide something.
Okay.
For example, Putin. decided to go to war with Ukraine.
Why didn't he decide to do that when Trump was in office?
Oh, I think he was not ready with his military, but he was preparing for the war.
Okay.
Preparing fuel station, hospital station next to the border, and he built it up for years and years.
So how would you respond? How would you respond to folks who suggest that maybe he didn't do it because he was concerned that Trump may not allow it to happen, whereas Trump may have projected strength to the level where some of these folks did not feel confident that this is the time to go to war. But once Biden became president, they thought now America's a weaker country. This may be our opportunity. Folks do believe that. How do you respond to that?
No, I disagree. I think Trump and Putin had some sort of agreement when if he wins the next, if he was get a second term as a president, I think he would have given the Ukraine.
So you believe if Trump was on his second, well, Trump may win in November. So you're saying if Trump wins, you're suggesting that he may just simply help or assist handing over the Ukraine to Russia.
Yeah, I think Trump will go out of nature.
Yeah.
And if that happens, then China would definitely contest America for the Taiwan.
But Trump is really hawkish on China. So I don't know if that would be the time for China to act under Trump. He's pretty hawkish on them.
I think it's just only words. Okay. I think he cannot really decide for himself.
All right, fair. Now, I don't know for sure. Is your country a member of NATO? You're not part of NATO, are you?
Yes, we are.
Oh.
But we are under Danish military protection. But Denmark is part of NATO, so we are part of NATO, and America has an Air Force base here in Greenland.
Okay. So if America got out of NATO, what do you think it would mean for your country?
Oh, gee, then it will be very unsafe for our country. I think Russia and China would have a elbow room to have the influence in Greenland.
Wow. So you do have a legitimate reason. Okay, I do got to move it on, Mr. Greenland, but you made your point. I could certainly understand a citizen of a much smaller country like yourself being concerned that if the largest military member of NATO was to disband, it would put you guys at an exposed position. So I'm assuming in your country, you guys are really, really hoping we don't have Trump part 2.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Makes sense. It makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah. All right, Greenland. Go ahead. I'll give you the last word.
The last word. Imagine yourself, politician in America are so extreme right-wing version of any politician in the world. Even AOC or Bernie would not get elected in Greenland to being two right-wing version of politicians.
Wow. You guys would consider Bernie Sanders as too far to the right.
Yeah.
Damn.
Definitely.
Damn. We got to talk again in the future because I could ask a host of questions on that, but I do got to move it on, Greenland. Appreciate you coming through. All right. And looking in the comments, I appreciate you folks. Tap the screen. Get your boy up to around 15,000. We often get some unusual comments. I'll go right back to the box shortly. But on YouTube, we run a simulcast on YouTube. Jeffrey in the comments, are you a member of the homosexual community? Appreciate the input, Jeff. Unfortunately, I am not. Perhaps you may be in a position of takes one to know one. So perhaps maybe you're a member of the community and thought you seen something you like. I appreciate the comment. For you folks on YouTube, smash that like button. Going back to the box, let's go Tucker. Now, Tucker Carlson is going to meet with, I believe, Vladimir Putin. What does that say? That Tucker Carlson would go meet with what right now is America's biggest adversary. We'll talk about that. Going back to the box. Appreciate that. And by the way, we'll make it happen with Don Bubba. And for those who ask, am I an ally of the LGBT community? Absolutely. Atrocity will mushroom all around after the loss of Ukraine. I think you're saying a snowball effect. I don't quite get the grammar on that. Are you there?
I don't think so.
Okay. Good afternoon, Bubba.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Okay, apparently my caller had some issue. We'll keep it moving. Tucker Carlson tonight must watch. Look, I see what Tucker Carlson is doing as a publicity stunt. To some degree, to undermine the Bush administration. This is not something new. When I believe Obama was in office and Obama was speaking harshly of what Israel was doing to Hamas, not Hamas, but the Palestinians. Obama went over to Israel and told them to their face at a summit that they were violating the rights of Palestinians, encroaching on their land, committing actual assault and acts of violence against Palestinians with no criminal recourse or just, no judicial recourse. So Obama was a big fan of what folks are now referring to as Free Palestine. And to undermine the Obama administration, Republican members of Congress went over and met with Netanyahu, who is still the leader of Israel right now. So that's kind of what Tucker Carlson is doing, going to undermine the current commander-in-chief. Now, I would assume that if this is done in reverse, they would have a problem with it. I'm not a fan of it, but it shows lack of unity in this country, where you got a war going on, where we're clearly endorsing Ukraine, and then members of the right are going over to meet with Russia. I don't get that. I really don't get that. Looking in the comments, Democrats are racist like Biden. Yikes. Now, the Democratic Party looks like the party of the rainbow. There's every different creed, gender represented by the Democratic Party. So when you say they're racist, my first response, racist towards who? Which group that is among them are they racist towards? So I'm just throwing an empty comment out there. Elaborate on it. Going back to the box. FSU, good afternoon. Welcome to the program. Why isn't Biden taking up on this Super Bowl interview, giving him a chance to speak to an audience of hundreds of millions of people simultaneously? Why would he turn that down? The box, apparently, I'm having problems with it. I tried to, we'll give it a second. Ryan in the comments says Democrats have interviewed. Yeah, that's true. But why is he turning it down right now in the middle of a really big presidential campaign? Some would say this is the biggest election of our lifetime. You hear that in every election, but many believe this is actually valid this time. Why is he not accepting the interview? Barbara Walters interviewed Castro during the height of the Cold War. What's the problem? Barbara Walters was not viewed as a biased journalist. That's the difference. Dan Rather interviewing someone on the other side is not. If Tucker Carlson is about as biased as they come. That's why there's a difference between Barbara Walters interviewing Castro and Tucker Carlson going to meet with Putin. They're actually using Tucker Carlson clips, allegedly, but I believe this is true, but I'll throw allegedly out there. They're actually using Tucker Carlson clips in Russia. That's how pro-Russia they see Tucker Carlson as. They're using his clips because he's saying things constantly that are favorable to Russia. Barbara Walters wasn't doing nothing like that. All right, looking in the comments. Tucker is not a journalist. Fair enough. Going back to the box, and Barbara Walters would have been a journalist. I don't know what's going on with the box, but we'll keep it moving. We'll try to make this happen. I do apologize. It's yours truly just bloviating. I'd rather have you folks on here. And by the way, if you enjoy civilized dialogue from both sides of the aisle, without any concern to the host blocking or banning you, feel free to follow the program. We're here Monday through Friday. Joe, good afternoon.
What's up, buddy?
Hey, Biden not doing a Super Bowl interview. What say you?
I don't think he would even know what the Super Bowl is if they brought him out. So he mistaked, what was it the other day, the French president from back in like 1996.
Jacques Chirac? Who you talking about?
He said that he had spoke to him once he got into office.
Yeah.
But this dude died, I guess, like years and years ago.
Well, let me ask you this. And I agree with you. There's no shortage of Biden gaffes. However, I watch a lot of right-wing media. I have to ask, why are the Trump gaffes deliberately ignored?
I totally agree with you, but it happens more commonly with Biden than Trump.
I'm fine with the suggestion that Biden has more gaffes than Trump, but that doesn't excuse completely ignoring every gaffe that comes out of Trump's mouth, though.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
I just, Trump as a leader, he was a true leader, and there was no conflicts throughout pretty much the entire world when Trump was in office.
Yeah, but what about the conflicts in this country?
He started to solve them. He needed 4 more years to get that done.
You think Trump would have been on par to solve, like, remember the Summer of Love, Black Lives Matter over George Floyd? You think Trump would have solved the black community's gripe against systemic racism in police? You think he was on course?
I think mostly it was the media that contributed to all that craziness that was going on. They hyped it up bigger than it should have been.
So do you think Trump was on course to solve it?
He could have been had the media been backing him up.
Why on earth? I gotta ask you this question. Why on earth do you think the media would ever back Trump up? Have you seen what he says about the media?
Yeah, because they're always against him.
And he's always against the media.
I mean, it goes vice versa. Like,
okay,
they were against him.
I'm 100% with you that there's no shortage of media personnel that do not like Trump.
Media should be backing our president. They shouldn't be going against him, trying to make him look bad to the American people.
So
that's all I'm saying.
Fair enough. So do you think the media was doing exactly what you suggest when Barack Obama was president?
They loved Barack Obama. They never made him look bad.
So you don't think Fox News talking about Barack Obama not wearing a flag? Hold on. Let me actually get the answer. The statement out. Fox News talking about Barack Obama not wearing a flag lapel, wearing a brown suit. You think the Fox News, which is one of the biggest media corporations out there, you think they were fair to Obama?
I do, because look at how everybody loved him during his first term, because the media made him out to be like that he was this great president when really he divided the country.
You really see Fox? I just got to make sure I get clarity. You really see Fox News as being fair to Obama?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Same question. You think CNN and MSNBC has been fair to Trump?
That's a good question, but I'm not going to answer it to the degree where you went. I do believe MSNBC has no love for Trump. I believe CNN started out trying to be a neutral news network, but at this point, no, they're not fair to Trump. But I will tell you this. Trump has said a lot of things about CNN that is flat out wrong. I personally was at a Trump rally about 4 months ago. Trump's on stage giving a speech. He preempts it by saying the news media is never fair. He said something that got a lot of applause, and he said, I bet the news media won't cover that. Look at CNN in the back. You see the red light go off? We're there. We see the CNN cameraman completely covering the event.
If you're watching the news channel, they do, when he starts speaking the truth about something, they will go into a different news story.
Okay.
I've noticed that when I tune into the channel.
Well, what I would invite you to do is watch Fox when Biden is speaking. The same thing happens in reverse.
Well, they don't want to show Biden because he can't complete a coherent sentence.
Okay. All right. So
they don't want to show him.
So you believe that Biden is turning down the Super Bowl interview because he don't know?
Yes, 100%.
So what?
They are afraid.
So why do you think Trump skipped the Super Bowl interview?
Because Trump can actually have a meaningful message to the American people.
That ain't what I asked you. I said Trump actually did skip an interview in 2018.
I don't know anything about that, so I
Okay.
can't really comment on it. But I know Biden's not doing it, especially live, because they don't believe in him. They have no faith.
No.
That's what I think.
Okay, fair enough. Now, in regards to the suggestion that Biden, don't know where a Super Bowl is and these statements you're making, if he is that much out of it, you got folks like Trump calling him Sleepy Joe, Brandon if he is true, now you folks say he has dementia. Do you believe that?
I believe it's old age. He very well could. I'm not a doctor, but if you look at him, the way he walks, the way he talks, there's something medically wrong with the guy, and he shouldn't be there.
Okay, so but wait a minute.
Nothing against him.
Well, wait a minute. You can't call a guy sleepy and then follow up with there's nothing against him. If he is truly
I'm saying I don't have anything against him.
but that ain't what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I'm asking it to you this way. If you believe there's something medically wrong with him, as you're saying, you said he shouldn't be there. How do you feel about most of the folks on the right making fun of what you're suggesting is an elderly man with a hold on. You're not letting me get out the points before you start talking. How do you?
Because I want to jump in because it's nothing that I have against him. I don't have anything. I know it's medical.
Fair enough, but when you jump in like that, you actually answer questions that I'm not even trying to ask you. You're responding to something that I wasn't even going to talk about. So what I'm trying to ask you is this. If you believe that he has some sort of mental ailment going on, and many folks on your side also believe that, how do you feel about what would apparently be a fact that your side is making fun of an elderly man with a mental illness?
Well, if Trump was saying and doing the same things that Biden's doing and saying, I wouldn't support Trump. But I can't stand behind a president that going in front of other world leaders, he's an embarrassment to the United States.
But that didn't, and that's fine, but that didn't answer the question. We're talking about adults making fun of an elderly man with a mental illness.
I don't support that. I said that.
Okay.
I don't believe in it. Like, it's not his fault. I don't know what more you want out of that.
Do you see President Trump as a decent? Because you started out by saying he's a good leader. He makes fun of of an elderly man with mental illness. How does that make you feel about him?
I don't approve of it, but okay. I mean, he's got to do what he's got to do to get elected to make himself look like the better candidate. So
up to and including making fun of the elderly with a mental illness. That's okay.
Well, he shouldn't be in that position in the first place. But the Democrats put him there. I'm
not disagreeing with that, but you can point out that this guy is too old for this job without calling him sleepy, and all kinds of names, can't you?
I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so how do you feel? You mentioned Trump was on par to bring this country together. Do you think calling an elderly man with a mental illness nicknames, do you think that would bring the country together?
Well, you would think the Democrat Party would be like, this guy, Joe Biden, he shouldn't even be a candidate.
Okay, so if the Democrats are doing the wrong thing, do you think the Republican leader vying for the position, making fun of an elderly man with a mental illness, is doing what it takes to bring the country together?
No.
Okay. All right, but you started out by saying he was doing that.
Or are you talking about Trump or?
I'm talking about the guy making fun of an elderly man with a mental illness.
You were talking about Biden. I misunderstood you. I had a text message come in. I didn't hear you.
All right, fair enough. I do got to move it on, but Joe, our first time talking?
Yeah, but I've been watching you quite a bit.
Good. So appreciate the support.
I'm going to talk to you soon.
I'd love to have you. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it.
Everybody, I'll see you.
Absolutely. Looking in the comment section, if I can get this to work right, Biden's economy has broken the record for Dow twice now. Great point. Most financial analysts agree with you. Why turn down a Super Bowl interview where you could tell hundreds of millions of people exactly what you just stated? Is there anyone who believes Biden is doing the right thing by turning down an audience the size of the Super Bowl? Want to hear from you folks. Look it in the comments. Give me your tolls and I'll give you $300. Oddly enough, on TikTok, I think for the material we cover, and I'll go right back to the box, but for the material we cover, with the audience we deal with, going left of Bernie Sanders to a dinner with QAnon, I think we make it work quite well, fairly civilized. But the shit I get on YouTube with an audience about the 10th of the size, somebody's talking about buying my toes. We have over 20 times more people on TikTok, and we don't ever get comments like that. I don't know what happens, but let me go back to the box. I guess it's YouTube trolls coming out the party. Going straight to the box, it is the man with the name of my own, Tim. Welcome to the program. Wow, buying my toes. Tim, good afternoon.
Hey, I just wanted, first time caller, I've been listening off and on for probably a year now.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
But, okay, I wanted to comment on when you say, hey, is it fun to make fun of an old man that has head problems or whatever?
Right.
Okay, does Biden, like, call me, like, a MAGA racist every other week?
But if he has dementia, I mean, when my grandmother was about to pass away from dementia, she would say negative things about me. I didn't hold it against her. I knew she was dealing with a mental illness. Are we holding a guy who allegedly has dementia accountable for his statements?
No, I'm just saying we need to take the mudslinging out of this. Like, let's just get back down to, like, what is Biden, you think, done great for you? Because I can list several things Trump did great. Yeah. And specifically, I'm a white guy, but specifically for a lot of the urban black community with the crime bill and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, let me respond. And that's obviously the crime bill from the mid 90s or whatever is obviously a time when people didn't think Biden was mentally ill. So that was done. He was totally sane. I will say this in regards to the crime bill. I'm no fan of stuff like the 3 strikes laws and these draconian sentences that came at the hands of both Biden and Kamala. However, I have a couple problems. First of all, I don't know of any Republicans that were pushing back against that bill. So if you're going to hold Biden accountable, he didn't do it by himself. He wasn't even president. So clearly he had a hell of a lot of Republican support. So it's not like I'm going to look at the crime bill and say, we need to stay away from Democrats. Maybe the Republicans are better. None of them were going against it either. That crime bill was favored by both sides. Second issue I have is this. Oftentimes when you hear African Americans complain about systemic racism, the rebuttal is that happened hundreds of years ago. You guys need to move on. They were being told that in the 1990s during that crime bill as well. Now here we are 30 years later, 2024, and to isolate Biden and ruin his chances, folks are stepping up. You know, back when we were telling you racism ended hundreds of years ago, you guys were actually right. That crime bill was racist as hell. You don't get a pass now when you said nothing when it was actually happening. You get my point?
Yeah, I can get your point there.
Yeah. Show me the Republicans that were actively speaking out against that crime bill like Jesse Jackson types, but on the Republican side, and I'm your best friend, but I don't think you're going to find any.
Well, just so you know, I didn't know a lot about that back then, right?
Okay.
I just done a lot of my own research, and like, I know when Biden was the senator, he was a big speaker, and that was like one of his keynote Billsy signs. But that was then. This is now.
You do realize Trump is in favor of stop and frisk too, right?
I didn't know that.
2 examples. The grandfather, I'm not going to, I'll let you speak, but I just want to get this in. I won't limit your time. The grandfather of stop and frisk in this country is Rudolph Giuliani. Bragged about how much it brought crime down in New York. So obviously Trump and Giuliani go way back. However, Sheriff Joe Arpaio was doing the same thing in Arizona. Supposedly to secure the border, he was telling his deputies to stop and frisk brown people. He was about to be sentenced to prison for doing it. Trump pardoned him. So we're going to go from Biden because he's racist to Trump?
Well, I will say one thing we can mutually agree upon. I guess to keep this discussion short, because I want to give other callers more time, you know?
Sure.
But, like, I hope we both hope in, like, next election cycle, we have two new candidates on both ends. Like, either if Biden gets reelected, hopefully a new Democrat steps up.
Okay.
And if Trump wins, hopefully a new Republican comes up.
Right.
Yeah, like somebody new.
Well, it has to, unless one of them violate the law, somebody new has to come up.
Yeah, let's have somebody out there on life support, right? Like, you know, click here for okay for this bill, or click here for no. Oh, it's on wink once or wink twice, right?
Yeah. So what's your point?
Well, anyways, that was just what I wanted to bring up for next. You know, one thing we can both agree upon, don't you think? It's time for, like, I don't know. Like, what are your thoughts on Michelle Obama maybe diving in at the end of this?
I think if Michelle Obama were to dive in the race is over with. That's like playing street ball and all of a sudden LeBron James shows up and wants to play with one of the teams. It's over with at that point.
I think she has the ability to do that too. I just I don't know if she actually wants to do it.
Well, I would tell you this. I think the race is hers for the taking if she got involved in it, because there's not a lot of scandals or anything. Like with Hillary Clinton, they're bringing up her husband and things like that. Obama's scandals, which there were some, Solyndra, Fast and Furious, there was an IRS, but compared to Biden and Trump, his scandals are very mild. I got an actual call from him. Hello? I'm at Prairie Creek. What? Okay, it's ready now? Okay. Count me in. All right. Okay. All right, will do. All right. All right. All right, I'll hit you up. All right. Damn, I hate getting a call in the middle of a broadcast. That's fucked that up. All right, I appreciate you folks. Let me see if my TikTok audience kept in. I do apologize for you folks on TikTok. Still 800 of you in there. I had a phone call come in, and I see in the comments somebody pointed that out. Trump said he will be a dictator for day one, like really one day Constitution gone rights. Look, I don't know why Trump would make a statement like that. Sean Hannity tried to help him correct that. That obviously has not aged well. Obama caught on a hot mic saying, once I get reelected, I won't have to really work. Sometimes candidates or presidents make bad statements. That is one. I will be a dictator on day one in the middle of a campaign where people are accusing you of trying to become a dictator was a really bad idea. So I don't know why he said that, but he's going to have a hell of a time getting out of that. Looking in the comment section, we'll keep it moving. Motives. Good afternoon. Welcome to the program. Trump said, I appreciate that. Motive. Good afternoon.
What's going on?
Not much. Super Bowl interview. Biden basically snubbing a Super Bowl interview, chance to speak to hundreds of millions of people. Why would he do that?
I don't think. I think people making a big deal out of it. I don't think it's really a big deal. It's so what? He don't want to do a Super Bowl interview. So, okay.
Let me say it this way. If you go to most liberals and ask what has Biden done that it makes him worthy of being reelected, most of them are going to say he got rid of Trump, meaning that most of Biden's signature accomplishments, a lot of liberals don't know about them. Why wouldn't he use this time with the largest audience, perhaps on earth, according to one of my callers is not, but with such a large audience, why wouldn't he use this time to get messaging out that a lot of Democrats don't know about?
Because it's the Super Bowl. Now remember what the right was saying about Colin Kaepernick, right? You leave politics out of it. Leave politics out of it and play football. Don't mix politics and football. I mean, so why are they saying the same thing about it right now? Leave politics out. This is the Super Bowl. Leave politics out of it.
It's kind of late for that though, Motive, because Obama did interviews with Bill O'Reilly. Trump did interviews during the Super Bowl. It's almost become a tradition. Why is Biden all of a sudden now? Well, let's leave politics out of the Super Bowl.
Traditions sometimes are meant to be broken. And I don't think this is a big deal. They was getting on. Remember they got on Obama for wearing a tan suit. Remember that?
Yeah.
Because tradition is that you don't wear a tan suit. So he broke tradition. So what's wrong with just not interview? He don't want to interview for the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I hear your point, and Trump has definitely showed us that breaking tradition doesn't always hurt you, but I strongly believe in Biden's case, his biggest issue is lack of messaging. Trump is holding rallies everywhere. People believe Trump is doing such a great job that they even believe things that he didn't do because he tells folks everything. Biden is sitting back just running the country, whether you think he's running the country good or bad, his messaging is not getting out. And turning down an audience like this, I don't see how that's a good thing for him.
I think right now all the policies that he has right now, the good policies, I think the message is getting out pretty good. You don't have to talk about it. You just look at it. Now the guy just a few minutes ago, Tim, which he was blocked from my live, by the way, but the guy Tim that just came, that was just up a few minutes ago, he was talking about how good, how bad Biden has been doing, but how much he does his research. Well, if you do your research, you will see that right now we're at 3.7 right now.
But you wouldn't have to do your research if he would go out and tell you. That's not how politics.
That's why there is research.
That's not how. Motives. I'm not disagreeing with you.
No, I get what you said. I have always been saying that, Democrats are horrible with messaging. I get that. But if you don't, if Biden says, he said in a speech not too long ago, we're doing better than we ever done before. He said that during the speech, but nobody heard that. Nobody was listening to that.
Then you keep saying it over and over again like Trump does. It's working for Trump. Why not use something that is clearly working? What I was going to tell you is, it's like if you're trying to sell vacuum cleaners. You don't expect people to go out and do their research and call you up to buy them. You knock on their door and you tell them what's good about your product. That's what a politician does. It's called politicking. People are not just going to research you. You got to go out and tell them how great you are.
Listen, I'm on the fence with this, and I truly understand. I get what you're saying, but Trump, he gets his message out, but only message he gets out is, "Hey, I'm a big liar. Listen to me."
Maybe Biden needs to start doing some lying then.
I don't want. Biden does. Yeah, you're right. Biden does need to start getting out the message. To be honest with you, him and Kamala, they need to get out the message. That is an issue. That you're right.
Let me follow it up. Let me ask you a second quick, because you got you in regards to the Super Bowl, going along the same line. Should he debate Trump?
He should. Trump cannot debate. He should. Trump is horrible with debate.
So you think Biden should take Trump on in a debate?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, at least that does get.
I think he needs to embarrass Trump. You know, as far as this dementia thing that they're talking about, you know, the reason why he won't debate, as far as the dementia thing, you know, and old people, he's too old. Look, old white men have been running this country for years.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Not that old though. Not that old.
They old is old. I don't care. But old white men has been running this country for a long time. So I mean, seriously, you cannot. You know, who was in a wheelchair? He was in a wheelchair as president. I forgot his name. He was in a wheelchair. One of the presidents.
You talking about the guy during World War II, Theodore Roosevelt?
Yeah, he was in a wheelchair.
FDR, not Theodore. FDR. So let me ask you this question then, because you're an African American, right? I can't see your picture, but you're black. So when folks ask you, what has Biden done for the black community? How do you respond? That doesn't sound good. All that stuttering. Go ahead.
No. I didn't know which direction I was gonna go with that. First of all, the people who ask that question are white people.
I'm not white, and I'm asking you.
No, I'm just saying most people.
Okay.
I would say this: mind your business.
You gotta do better than that. Oh my God.
Okay. The reason why he has the infrastructure, number one.
Okay, there we go. All right, let's do it. Let's go. All right, infrastructure. What else?
As far as he's more diverse. People don't understand when you put people of color on your cabinet. He don't understand how much that helps the black community.
All right.
People don't get that. That helps the black community. When you put people in your cabinet, people that work for you, that means.
So what are you saying? What are you saying? If we have Secretary of Education Tim Scott, black people gonna be happy? How about Herschel Walker as Secretary of Education?
Fuck both of them. They put them in They put them in. For one thing, they put people like who was the neurosurgeon that Donald Trump?
Ben Carson. Ben Carson.
He put a neurosurgeon in charge of HUD.
Secretary of Housing and Urban Development. But I'm just simply saying, so when I asked you what has Biden done for the black community, I got to tell you, you didn't have a lot of answers. I don't know.
And jobs are looking better.
They were looking.
Black community jobs are looking better.
They were looking good under Trump too, though. The jobs numbers in the black community were not bad under Trump either.
No, because he was riding off of Obama until when you listen, when a new president comes in, for the first 2 years, you're riding off the president before you. For the first 2 years, you're riding off the president before you.
Now that's an interesting point, and I will respond by saying this. That is why you take Super Bowl interviews and things like that, because Biden has been touted as having an awful economy. A lot of folks don't see it the way you do about my economy was the last guys for the first 2 years. That's why you got to get out there and talk to the people so they'll understand stuff like that.
I agree with that, and I agree. I told you now. I agree with you now. I agree with you on that.
All right. But you made it. You started out by saying if he skips these Super Bowl interviews, it's not a big deal. And you're admitting there's a lot of things that his own supporters don't know that may be considered as accomplishments.
It's really not a big. It's to be honest. I'm sticking. It's really not a big.
Now you're going back.
But if you really, if you know, you also have a week. Like I said earlier,